Hey. So things are moving forward with the job hunt. I have it's getting to be three main paths where I'm kind of getting to the end of the rabbit hole. And door number one leads down to, nothing's certain, of course, but it's a smaller company called My Services here in Gothenburg. And the reason why I think this would be a pretty cool company to work for is that it's not a large company or anything, but the product they have is a good product, and the people seem really nice. And I think the biggest draw is that they seem to be really energetic and passionate about what they do, and they have this they have the tech stack that I'm interested in. And on the server side they use Scala, which is one of the flavors of Java I don't know, and they're very keen on people in the company learning it, which I think is pretty cool, because I've been looking for, I love Node, I really do, but it's not great for some stuff, and for some things you really want a typed language. And then I kind of, I was excited about Kotlin, and I still am, but Scala is here, it's kind of adopted, and it's an opportunity to learn from people who have been using it in production and build a company around it. That to me sounds pretty cool. And the second door, at least for now, things could change and nothing's certain or anything like that, but the second door is who I'm going to talk to today, which is Klarna up in Stockholm. And the reason why I think this seems to be a nice, I don't know, it's a really big company, they have a very well-known brand, and of course they have, I assume they have some really good engineers, so if I progress further in their interview process, I suppose I'll get to talk to some of them and pick their brains a little bit about their thoughts and mindset, and get a feel for, how they think about things, because that way I will learn how much potential learning there will be from making this move. And I'm not gonna lie, I still am. I'm not all that. I'm torn between the fact that this is probably the best thing for my CV, because it's it's a well-known company, and if I ever want to be able to if I ever want to be able to see how far I can go in this industry, this is probably the one. I don't think it's the only way, but you know how it is, when people are looking at your profile on LinkedIn, the first thing they're looking at is the visual stuff, they're looking at your picture, and then they look at, they glance maybe just briefly on your description of yourself for half a second, then they go down to where have you been working, and then from then on it's just looking at the profile level, how high profile the companies are and how long you've been there most of the time, and then they might go down to education. So that's a pro tip for you if you're making a CV. Put that stuff at the top, because that's what they're looking for most of the time. And if you pique their interest with that stuff, they're going to look at more specific things, such as what you do in your spare time, and how do you keep yourself relevant and all that great stuff. But yeah, that's Klarna. So as I said, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I know logically it's a good choice, but yeah, we'll see. And the third route to go is to go down the teaching route. I think I haven't gotten a response now, but I think they said that they were on vacation. So, for those of you who are in Sweden basically shuts down during summer because everybody's on vacation. So that's why I kind of figure that, it's not like I have to rush a decision, because I'm looking for a job during holidays, and I'm pretty sure if I send out another message on LinkedIn or whatever saying that I'm still looking for a job come late August, then I'm probably gonna get a few more opportunities in terms of employment. but right now those are the three prime routes I can take, and it got me thinking a little bit about like career priorities. I don't know for you guys what your situation is, or like how you think about like what you want to do in the next 5 years, but I think I've probably said so a few times now, and that is that like I don't have a grand scheme. Like I'm not looking to be a millionaire or like try to be a CEO of a large company or anything like that. I really only have two desires, and that is to be to see how good I can get. I want to just be really good at what I do, and I would really like to either be on a team or I can build something that brings value to a lot of people. I mean, it doesn't have to be a fancy thing, but I would really like to feel like, I mean, let's forget about take Mark Zuckerberg for example. I mean, you don't have to whatever you think about him and like whatever he has done, and like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all these people. I mean, these guys they have these giant companies, and I don't admire them necessarily for what they did when they got to be really famous and really successful, but I do admire them for having the guts to, before the success, to really try to do something, and they did. Like, I don't think anybody's going to argue with me when I say that the investment they did in themselves and the thing that they built has affected everybody. I think that's fair. It's a fairly sure thing to say. So that's what I would like to do. I don't care if I make a lot of money or if I'm anything like that, but I would really like to be able to say that, hey, that thing that everybody is using and it brings a lot of happiness to a lot of people, I helped build that. That would be great. And to me, probably the likeliest way to measure success at skill level is to pass the bar at one of these super companies. My favorite option would be Google. Or probably if I could get into if I could get a job at Google, it would be probably the greatest achievement of my career, hands down. Like, I mean, I think I said so in a previous video where I was contacted by a very nice woman from Google, and like, it's still, to this day, it's still one of the biggest things that ever happened. I mean, it was unreal. I would have never thought that the little old me from nowhere in this tiny country Sweden would get get contacted by somebody from like basically the top of the mountain. That's the way. I mean, some of you might think I'm a little bit silly now, but to me, the Google and Facebook, like at least for JavaScript and like development and engineering and innovation and everything that has to do with computer science, they're pretty much the top of the mountain, at least for me. So that brings up the question, okay, so if I now apply this very nice rule that I actually heard from the guy, I never remember his name, I'm very bad at names, but he has a very nice channel called Fun Functions, and he said in one of his videos that like the way that he thinks about careers and jobs and so forth is, you think about the job you want to have after the job you're getting now, because that's going to help you decide what you want to do today. And I did think about that quite a bit, and I have for quite some time. And the issue, as far as I can tell, if I wanted to have a real shot at working at one of the big companies, I don't know if it matters what I do now. I don't know if it really matters. I mean, logically, it seems to me that if I were to get a job at Klarna, that would look really nice on my CV. But then again, going into teaching for 2 years just to give back some of the knowledge that I have acquired so far, that If nothing else, that would be pretty nice. Like I'm very passionate about it. I'm really passionate about teaching and learning and all that stuff. I really like it. And finally, learning Scala and getting a chance to do server-side functional programming, that's pretty cool as well. And I would like to think, I don't know what the recruitment processes look at these super companies, and I don't know. But if they already contacted me once, then I suppose that even now, maybe I do have a shot, and then maybe I don't have to think so much about what the next, putting a big thing on my CV, or maybe I should simply, maybe I should just focus on looking at what I would enjoy the most. Because if I'm honest with you guys, the thing I want to do after my next job is probably be as good enough to earn to get to work at one of these larger companies as either a coach or a team manager, nothing fancy, or just I want to do 50% coding and 50% coaching and team building and helping people with their own progression. That would be that would be the dream, because but I want to earn that job. I don't know if I've said this before, but the way that I think about it is that if I was a soldier in an army, I wouldn't follow a general who never ever who never was he was never a private. He never fought in any wars or anything. He basically went to school, and then he got the job because he could play golf, or his dad plays golf with the guy who gives out the job. That's not what I want to be. That to me is what I call a boss. You are a manager or a boss if you can administrate people and you can deal with people, but you don't understand the work that they do. You've never been there yourself. And a leader, to me, is somebody who rose through the ranks through doing a really great job and having that aptitude and that passion to help out people, so that they respected that person enough to say, hey, in my case, Frederick, that guy Frederick, you should make him the manager. Not because he asked for it, but because we think he would be a really good fit for that role. And I think we want him to be our manager. And believe it or not, one of the proudest moments I've had professionally was when my colleague Alan, we were just talking. This guy, he's a senior he's almost peerless when it comes to seniority at my company. I've been doing this for 3 years now, and he's been doing it for I think 7 or 13 or something. I believe it was like that. And he told me that I want you to be my manager, Frederick. And I'm going to be honest. I had to kind of keep myself from because men don't cry, at least not in front of other men. But I was really flattered by that comment. So yeah. That's my little rant about what's going on with finding a new job. So we'll see where things land.